Here is my LCC assignment number 1, which I had missed, and what drives us towards our purpose is what the assignment starts with. It's not about mindset, wherein we falter a lot, which is why we are missing on something. And what drives us what drives us towards our mission, that is purpose, right? So Anna Hazare, he was sitting on hunger strike for so many days, and nothing happened to him. Maybe he became weaker, but he was very, very driven towards his mission. He had a mission and he was working towards that. That is what a purpose is. A purpose has to be, as I understand, uh, purpose has to be bigger than ourselves. Our goals, many people set materialistic goals. What I understand is, when you have a mission bigger than you, your goal cannot be materialistic. That is what I understand. It will be something which might appear to be abstract, might appear to be crazy. Like Srimar says in his examples, he was citing about Utkalamani Gopabandhu Das. So he wrote a stanza. He was a freedom fighter. He did a lot about our education system. If many people don't know, but he was the first to have this idea of open university. So, and of course, he was passionate about his country, the independence, how people live, and how people think. So, the famous stanza that all of us read as children is ମିଶୁ ମୋର ଦେହ ଏ ଦେଶ ମାଟିରେ ଦେଶବାସୀ ଚାଲି ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ ପିଠିରେ ଦେଶର ସ୍ୱରାଜ୍ୟ ପଥେ ଯେତେ ଗାଢ କୋରୁ ତହିଁ ପଡି ମୋର ମାଂସ ହାଡ. Even I was told about this and described by my mother, who was a Oriya language student, of course. So, but I also read the same stanza and she was describing me with a lot of passion. It is not a small thing to be thinking that I can be that ordinary person with all my being, can be for the well-being of my countrymen, and that will be my glory. How many people can say that? And if there is any obstacle, then may I be the person to sacrifice my flesh and blood. Who can say that? A person who is driven by his purpose. And did he achieve freedom, independence during his lifetime? I don't remember honestly, but it was not so. But he paved the way for our independence in his small way. The independence, the freedom of this country is attributed to Mahatma Gandhi, right? And there is no contradiction there, no conflict there. But when we attribute that credit to Mahatma Gandhi, some other people, so many freedom finishers, freedom fighters were there who actually contributed towards that. Their mission had that, their motivation had that, their life had that, and We don't know, but maybe it was not because of one person, but it was a collective force or collective effort that got us the independence, So that was the objective that time. What is ours? What we want to be free of. So today I was speaking to somebody on this. Today's generation, all of us complain about lack of time, and how do we spend our time? Do we have any control over our time? Do we have any purpose? How we use our time? Is it driven towards our purpose? No? We need to think. We need to give it a thought. The self-centered attitude that many of us have, even when we are asked to write our goals. What are the goals that drive us today? Very self-centered, having a house, a bungalow, maybe a car, or bank balance or something. That is the immediate kind of attraction that is there in our mind. That motivates us. It's really, really very sad that is the thing which motivates us. But sooner or later, if you are a hard worker, or even if you are not, have you not seen people with huge bungalows, lot of bank balance, huge these vehicles, lot of everything, millionaires and billionaires? Do you think they feel fulfilled? Tony Robbins, he said, even if a millionaire, 85% of his students are millionaires and billionaires. 85% of them come to him because they don't feel fulfilled. Aspiration is such. Because we don't have, that is why we aspire for that. But that is not the thing which will give us fulfillment. If there is no purpose, there cannot be any fulfillment. Purpose is something bigger than ourselves. That is what I say. Now, what is bigger than ourselves? We will learn maybe going forward, because that is what our mindset is all about. And there is lot of conformity about how we think. It is the other person thinks, that is why we think. The other person does, that is why we do. Now, what the other person is thinking, or whether he or she is going towards a purpose, is something questionable. Who do we follow? Do we follow the person who is heading towards his purpose, or somebody who is, obviously everybody knows that a person who doesn't have a purpose goes nowhere, right? Because he hasn't set himself or herself a destination. So they're stuck, and stuck for some time, or say for years. It leads to unfulfillment. So we speak something to feel fulfilled, right? What is that one thing which will give us fulfilled? Or should we crave about our lifetime, our work pressure, our overtime, and our lack of time, and lack of cooperation, and lack of friendship, lack of connection? All these and hide behind all those to remain stuck? That is the choice we need to make. We need to pause for a moment and give it a thought. What has been your childhood dream? Was there a dream? Of course of course there was. Each of us had been a child, and a child dreams a lot. What was that dream? Was there something which hit you, kind of impacted you, and you kept on thinking about that and never came terms with yourself unless you did it or working towards that? Is there something like that? It gives you depth as a human being. How are you different from in the animal kingdom? You are the best. Why is that? How it is that you are different from the rest of the animals? Are we in comfort zone? Even if we are, no, lot of us are under so many compulsions that we cannot just give up something and go ahead with our mission only. But there are people who can do that, right? Suppose this is not a possibility, and you are still hesitating to take that step forward. Still, is there something on everyday basis to be done by you? Because you're the person, you are the only person who can do that. Because you have been a unique human being by the definition. By virtue of being a human being, every human being has been different. The other thing that needs to be thought about is 20% people in this world control 80% of the wealth that is there. That is Pareto's rule. And here, at least, what is that they do differently than others? What do these 20% of people who are controlling the 80% of the wealth of the entire world are doing differently? Don't you think they are working on a purpose? Do we not have to understand how they are finding time along with this wealth generation to work towards their purpose? Should we not think about that? Thought becomes words, words become action, and there is a way to integrate our logic. And purpose is, for me, is love. My purpose is my love. So there is this balancing of love and logic, and then comes a hand where we talk about the consistency factor, right? How to implement, what are the action points? Why are we not asking questions as to how can we do it? Maybe we don't have the answer right now. Nobody has that answer right now. But if we start asking questions, even our brains, that is what the Dr. Joe Dispenza says. So many other spiritually aligned teachers say that if we ask questions sufficient time to our brains, then that impression goes to the subconscious mind, and then the subconscious mind gives out the answer. Have you not heard Have you not thought about or experienced about those times when so many people have got those answers also? Many people even today say that they can get the answers while they are taking showers. So how is it possible? It is possible because you are asking questions. You are giving questions to be answered to your brain, and the subconscious is responsible for providing you the answer to bringing the answers in front of you. Maybe it will come from within, or you might be, for me, I hear answers from everywhere. If you seek, if you seek, definitely you will get, right? If you're asking a question, definitely you will hear the answers from within or from your environment. It is going to happen. But have you asked the question? If you haven't, then you cannot say, you cannot declare that you don't get the answers because you haven't asked, right? So that is the habit that we need to have to ask questions. Why we haven't asked any questions? And anything that we say needs to be corroborated by the 5 whys. We have to ask the why with each answer that we give ourselves. For me, my vision statement is to have global calming, cooling, and greening. And my mission statement is to train 1 lakh super performing global players in 139 countries to work towards innovation. Those will be leading to abundance, a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Now, how does this contribute to this? To my vision is when a person is engrossed in innovation, he is not thinking of comparison. So there is less violence. And so global calming takes place. People, sufficient number of people, if engaged with innovation, asking why, doing something very different, are people busy creating solutions, and thereby they are creating global peace. And those solutions will be environment friendly. That is what I envision. Thereby, the cooling thing will happen. And the greening part is our innovations will be around the environment and the greening of the planet. So it is interconnected that way. And I think that that is a very good way. Innovations are the best way to create global calming, cooling, and green. That is my vision. And the mission or the way that I'll be doing is to find out super performing global players and train them towards that. I need some analysis, of course, how to do that. But the how part is not within me. That is a subject of another discussion we will not discuss right now, but we will discuss the codes, the codes that protects us from ourselves. That has been learned from the international teacher, Mr. Blair Singer. He used to he tells a story about how his coats have protected him from himself. So many times we get into crisis, dilemma, and then we don't know, and those are the crossroads where we don't know which path to take. It is your code which helps you to take the path that needs to be taken. Even if your rules might be different, but the codes will guide you towards the right path. That is what he says. So, and the next person is Denzel Washington, who says that commitment is one thing which gets you started. That is how I have got started. So I'm very proud of having started, and I won't stop till I reach my mission. It's a reachable mission, no? That is what I believe. It's a reachable thing in the internet jamana. You think that reaching out to 1 lakh super performing global players is difficult? No. I think each of us is a super performing global player. It is just that you are not yet convinced by my dream, or I haven't communicated it to you. So as I am saying this, I'm conveying this to you, and you might be the one person, whoever is a super performing global player. And how do I define that? I start with the people around me who are mid-career professionals, but it can be anybody. A person who understands his purpose or mission, his or her purpose or mission. He is a super performing global player. And why 139 countries? I don't know, because it has come from within when I was writing my mission statement. So I have written. I don't defy my mind, my intuition when it comes, when it gushes through me. And so I'm proud of stating whatever comes through me. The second is focus. Sorry, the second is focus. Of course, you need focus to do something, right? If you are distracted, how can you do whatever you have set out to do? Third is integrity. You are doing same thing, even if you are not watched. So who will see whatever I am doing? Still, it is me who is watching myself, right? Is that the state? That is what integrity is. Consistency, as Denzel Washington says, consistency is what it takes to the end. Commitment gets you started, and consistency takes you through towards the end, to the end. So, and with what speed you do. Speed is, of course, is required, because you cannot do just your speed determines how quickly or with lot of time you reach the end, right? And then the score. What is my score right now? My score is 37. I think the focus part is missing, or it is to be worked on. And I'm kind of clueless about how to bring more focus to whatever I'm doing. Maybe it is all over the place. So it has to be concentrated and focused onto one. That is what I need to work on going forward. So these have been my learning and my realization today. When we analyze, we realize, right? And it is not for going paralyzed. It has to realize and set forward from there whenever the realization happens. Because unless we evaluate ourselves, analyze ourselves, we cannot get the right picture about where we are, right? So this is about it. Thank you. If you like it, do give me a comment.